Is sampling a $5,000 piano gonna be superior for making a beat than just using a piano plugin? I challenged 3 Beats, a producer friend from England, to a 20-minute beat battle. The rules are simple. Since I've been playing the piano for over a decade now, I'm only allowed to sample my real piano. 3 Beats, on the other hand, is only allowed to click on the notes. So is playing the notes with an authentic feel the key to a better sounding beat? Let's find out. Okay, so before we can start with the beat making, I first of all have to sample my piano and come up with the chord progression. I feel like my beat could sound a lot more dynamic since I'm playing in a real instrument, but I'm very curious how 3 Beats is gonna approach this with only clicking in the notes. But let's actually start with sampling my piano. Well, I've already done that, but this is like just for the video structure, so let's cut to how I sample my piano. Okay, so let's actually start with the beat making. So as you guys just heard, I decided to go for like a Latin American flamenco type progression. And as you can see, I haven't done anything in this FL Studio project. I just dragged in the sample, and I'll just quickly set up a 20-minute timer and then we can start. Okay, so 3, 2, 1, and let's go. So this is the sample again. Oh, I also have to put on headphones, otherwise I won't hear anything. 125 BPM. So let's just start off with getting drums in here. Let's go with Cody drums. I use those drums a lot. This clap sounds pretty good. Hi-hat's pretty short. Hard-hitting kick as well. We of course need like snare as well. Maybe like a short one, almost like a rim shot. And let's just work with that for now. I'll just put everything in one pattern so we can just like get a rough sketch of how the drop or like hook is gonna sound. And then we can make everything else. Oops, just do 2-step hi-hats. I don't know how much I'm gonna like cut out of the video, since it's also like kind of interesting to see just how fast I'm going right now, and trying to just like get a rough sketch of like what the beat's gonna sound like a rough structure. I'm not quite happy with the drum groove yet, so I'm just gonna like play in the 808 now. Just gonna put some effects on the piano now. I'm also going to split the channels as well. I feel like the 808 is a little bit too long. It could also hit a little bit harder, so let's maybe change it. Let's also give the kick a separate channel and sidechain the 808 to the kick. I'm just like spamming kicks right here. But I like it, so I just keep it like this for now. I kind of like the drums. I think I'll just like put a little bit less drums for the verses and just keep the drums for the drop like this. And let's actually, yeah, get the sample and manipulate it a little bit more. So I'll just render it out like a few different times. So this is like with the tape stop effect in the middle. Kind of feel like this would be good for the drop. I just have to chop it up a little bit. We can use this as a transition into the drop. Okay, now I really have to hurry up. I feel like good idea for the verse as well. So we have like an interesting verse and an interesting drop. There's like no time for a bridge right now. So I'm just gonna do like 2 hooks at the end, and then we are done with the structure. And I'm just gonna do like the piano intro part for the outro as well. Just like this. And now I also need like a transition effects, something in here, please. I'll check pretty much everything, just has to be like a little riser thing. Okay, 1 minute left. I can maybe try real hard and get a second instrument for the hook. I have to play this in because clicking won't be enough. Like when I click it in, just won't be enough time. Okay, let's just play this in. something like this. I'm just gonna put it over here. I have like a few seconds left, I think, and that's it. Just consolidate it, put it here. And the time is over. So in those 20 minutes, I didn't really manage to get in like a working guitar as well. So I'm just gonna delete the pattern that we just did, and with that the beat is done. So if you enjoyed the video so far, don't forget to leave a like and follow me. And let's switch over to free beats and me reacting to our beats. Okay guys, so I'm here with free beats right now. We're in a Discord call and now we're gonna react to our beats. You also wanna like say hello again or like introduce yourself just like a little bit? I don't know.
Hello again, guys.
Let's go. Yeah, let's just go. So for my beat, I wasn't allowed to click in like a melody or chords, and I had to play it on the piano. At the end, I couldn't like really do anything like classical related, for example, because this wouldn't just like really fit in with the trap vibe that we were usually going for. I feel like it was like a little bit more dynamic since I could play it on the piano.
So do you think you would have come up with that same melody that you had in that video if it wasn't for you being able to be a classically trained pianist? Do you think you'd have come up with the same progressions, or do you think it was something that you could have just done if you'd just been a beginner making these kind of things on MIDI, for instance?
Yeah, so I feel like this could have been also done without being like classically trained or like trained on piano in general. And this is like more based on just knowledge of different genres than on like the technical skill that you need to like play, for example, classical music or something. Obviously, like especially for beginners, you usually like end up with a progression that sounds good, but you don't really know what you have done like in terms of music theory. But this is obviously just like the opposite that I'm going for, since I like think of the music theory first and then go to play like a progression.
All right, let's get onto the beat then. Let's hear what we've got.
Yeah, and after that it's just looping again, so this is like pretty much the section. So like little intro, 8-bar hook and then 16-bar verse.
Yeah, I like the bounce on that, to be fair. Yeah, it's a really cool way that you flipped it as well. And how long do you think it took you to record and everything? Because obviously you would have had to record it and then transfer it onto FL.
So I took my time with like setting everything up, just like the I could record it in like maybe 5 minutes if it were just like put the mic there, play it in. But like in terms of, cause I also wanted the video to look good and everything with like lighting setup and stuff, it took like maybe 20 to 30 minutes of just like setting everything up, looking like checking out that the angles are right, the camera settings and stuff. But like just the recording itself, maybe like 5 minutes at most.
All right, let's get on to my beat now. So for mine, I went a bit more different because your style was a bit more Latin American inspired, and because I'm someone who likes to do a lot of pain stuff, and the fact that the limitations that you have with playing it live as well is the fact that you can't go as rogue as I've gone with this. So for instance, I've got these very spread chords that I don't think you could really play with two hands, as you can see here. I've got chords here, got the bass here, so that's two hands already gone, and then you've also got to play these little flourishes up here, which is obviously something you can't do with your hands. So there's one advantage of being able to play into MIDI, because obviously I've done it in MIDI form. It's given me a bit more time because I already kind of know what I'm going for with melody. Even if I'm not classically trained, I've still got some knowledge of chord sequences, so I've had time to do all of this. I haven't had to go record it into an MP3 and then export it and then bring it into FL Studio, for instance, and that's given me a lot more time to do this whole beat. So obviously I've added a sub bass, I've added a pad, and I've added another counter piano melody, which isn't really a counter piano melody actually. It's just a piano that's got a few extra effects on it, which I decided to add for some extra texture.
Yeah, it has a lot more ambience than my beat. It's a lot more like laid back than what I thought you would do.
Yeah, I mean I did draw last time, so I thought I might as well change up a bit.
Yeah, I like the drop though, like into the hook. It sounds pretty nice with the 808s. And also it's like not like very smooth 808 and stuff, so it's pretty nice. I really liked it. Like the piano progression is very beautiful. Like what I noticed is exactly what you also said in the beginning, that it can sound like a little bit robotic. For example, like in the intro, your like piano melody is beautiful. Like the little melody on top in the intro is amazing, but it just sounds like the typical like clicked in sound, you know? Like, yeah. okay, I have my everything's quantized, just like put it on the grid, and that's not sounding very human or yeah. But except that, I really liked it. It's dope. It's also like a totally different vibe. I expected like something hard hitting, like drill or trap or something, but this is pretty nice.
Yeah, well, as I was saying earlier, obviously with the fact that you can add so many elements into it in this short amount of time, just because you have MIDI at your disposal and you don't have to export everything, it makes it so much easier for me to go into this knowing that I've already got prior knowledge of the genre as well. And the only real limiting factor would be for a beginner, for instance, is if they didn't have knowledge of chord progression. So obviously I've been producing for a couple of years now, but for someone that's usually using MIDI, for instance, you're using an actual piano because you've had years in music, so you're obviously trained for that. But for me, for instance, even when I started off, I was still using MIDI. I'm still using MIDI now, but for a beginner, they won't have a piano in front of them, if you know what I mean. So there's more of a chance of a beginner starting off in MIDI than they would be starting off in front of a piano. And for a piano, you need to have at least some form of training to be able to sit there and consistently play a melody out for 4 or 8 bars on time. And MIDI just allows you to do that so much faster.
Yeah, that's totally true. That's also like what I thought about while listening to your beat. Like, for example, if I'm like in like 10 minutes into our beatmaking session or like challenge, and I noticed like, the rhythm could have been like a little bit different. I can't just go in there and change it, you know, I would have to re-record everything. So this is like also like a huge benefit of MIDI, that you can just like go in there, okay, I'm gonna change like the melody a little bit here and change the record there and stuff. That's just like, yeah, way faster, obviously.
In general, I think that's given us a bit of a conclusion to this experiment. And I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, don't forget to
like and subscribe. And once again, a big thanks to Freebeats for being in this video. So if you enjoyed the video, check him out. All the links are in the description. And if you guys are interested in more music content, make sure to check out my Instagram. See you guys in the next one. Bye.